Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map, and this is a VR to Maha's treasure box, and it's a video on tarot and astrology. I have been fascinated with astrology for many years, and just to give you a short background, I lived in Australia at some point, and for my birthday, I think it was my 27th or 28th birthday, I bought myself a reading with quite a famous Sydney astrologer. She was called Parampara because she was Osho's disciple and like had a name given to her, Parampara. But she was an amazing lady. And I went to her for a reading and I was just blown away. I loved it so much that then I signed up for her workshops, which she did in like a college. So I've done a workshop with her and a little kind of course on transits, and then unfortunately she got cancer and she died. But my love for astrology, awoken through her, remained, and I followed my passion and I studied astrology quite extensively for many years. And I think Maha will definitely understand when you're like really passionate about astrology, you basically just talk astrology. You ask everybody about their time of birth and check all the charts and stuff like this. So I was working at that time in like a vegan cafe. I was running this place called IKU, and all my customers, I knew what signs they were and stuff like this. So it was quite funny when I think back now. I was even reading for people for a while, but I think, when you're so passionate about something, I noticed after a while that I give people way too much information. I just kind of was tired of preparing the charts. It's quite a hard work, and I really like full respect to all the astrologers out there because I know how much time consuming it is to actually prepare a chart. So if you ever wonder why astrology readings are so expensive, or that people charge more for astrology than for tarot readings and stuff like this, a lot of time goes into preparation to prepare the chart, to check the transits. Even if you have computer, obviously, and use computer program, it's still quite time consuming. And additionally to that, you have to put a lot of money and energy to educate yourself to know how to do it. So kudos to all the astrologers out there, and I respect and value you a lot. I know what it takes to actually do it. So Maha was doing something when she was combining just using different points from astrological chart and depicting them with tarot cards. So I am a Sagittarius, and in tarot and Golden Dawn associations, I would just use them. Sagittarius is considered to, this is the glyph for Sagittarius, so like an arrow, and in Thoth deck this is art, and in Rider-Waite-Smith deck this is temperance. So a very familiar picture. When you're a Sagittarius, you're a fire sign, so in a way I thought I'm also ruled by the Eon or the judgment, just because it's connected to fire. And it's fascinating because Sagittarians love to renew themselves. They, shoot an arrow to follow an idea, and then they shoot another one, and they constantly on the search for adventure and for some kind of travel, not only physical but also like mental, emotional, any kind of exploration is fun for us. And I think with Ian, when you have this sense of renewal and following your call, following that arrow, and these two fit quite well. And I'm actually particularly drawn to judgment card. I actually associate myself with a judgment card. And actually only doing this video response for Maha, I realized that, yeah, it's fire element. So maybe that's why it's kind of so familiar for me. So my sun is Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the Lord of Fortune, and the biggest planet in our solar universe. And in tarot, it's the Wheel of Fortune. And this again has to do with fortune, and Sagittarians are said to be quite, positive and optimistic, and it's going to, it's going to be fine. And also, we're quite philosophical, I think, and we love to, see how the spikes connect and what's in the center and what's outside the wheel and stuff like this. We love to write our own fortune. We're quite independent and quite courageous to maybe try new things out. We're quite changeable because we are mutable sign, and mutable energy pattern is the one which adjusts quite quickly, and it's not very stuck for too long in one place, so we can change our minds quite often too. And so the Jupiter gives us a big pat on the shoulder and watches over us. Okay, then my moon is in Libra. Libra is adjustment, so constant weighing of options, constant seeing of other people's position, where they're coming from. So it's a constant reflection. And when you have moon in Libra, very often you feel like you have all eyes on you. So you constantly feel in a way observed, but that comes with this feeling that you have to always check out on the other side as well, how are you, how I'm feeling, but also how are you feeling and what's happening for you. So Libra is obviously an air sign, so the moon maybe doesn't feel too comfortable in an air sign. I'm definitely a person who has to understand my emotions. I love to weigh my options. I am fiery, so I like to make my decisions fast, but with the moon in air sign, I have to pay specifically a lot of attention to my emotions, because I tend to intellectualize my emotions just a little bit like Aquarius people. But at the same time, yeah, it's constantly looking for the balance and harmony, and I kind of don't like conflict, and I don't like to go, face on. I just prefer to do stuff diplomatically if possible. So my moon is in Libra, and also moon in Libra in tarot is the Two of Swords, which in Thoth deck it's peace. As you can see, it's connecting to the High Priestess just because it's two. And also Two of Knives here in Tarot of the Vampires by Ian Daniels. So here we can see that, drawing, here I think that we can say I can draw decisions and make decisions based on black and white. So I'm kind of can take black and white and try to mix it up into a gray, but I can also feel this duality within myself and emotionally as well. And sometimes, with air, a moon sign in air element, you don't want to kind of feel. So you're trying not to see and not to look properly, just you don't want to feel, you'd rather think about it. Because I have a moon in Libra and Venus in Libra and my IC is in Libra, it's very Venusian, so I could also pull Empress card as kind of close energy to myself. My ascendant is in Leo, and Leo is lust here, or strength. So it's again this kind of balance like the Libra, but it's different balance. It's not just mental balance, but also the balance between, your body and your spirit, and creating harmony, creating healing within you, being able to be strong, but also use this strength to brighten the world whenever I see all these flowers. And this is also the alchemy of body and mind and spirit, and we live on different levels. So basically the last strength card, Leo, I love to be in the limelight. Leo is quite regal and quite joyous and open-hearted, and my sun and moon and my sun and Mercury and Neptune, because I have Neptune on my sun, is in my 5th house, which is also the Leo house. So it's quite a strong energy for me as well. My Saturn is in Leo, and it's Strive, 5 of Wands. I love this depiction in this case. You've got to generate the power to, in a way, maybe not protect yourself, but to guard yourself off too much excitement. And Leo, Saturn in Leo, usually we need feedback, we need some kind of, it's often issues with self-confidence and these questions: do I have the strength to do it? Am I good enough? Can I do it? And obviously Leo is a strong one, but Saturn is quite limiting and gives you a lot of karmic lessons. So for me, it was a lot of, for my most of my life, I had to learn about my self-confidence, where it comes from, how can I draw on it, how can I share it, how can I be not like this, egoistical piglet. It's only me, 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 me. But how can I be me and appreciate me and also share with others and kind of guard myself from vampires and, like energy suckers and stuff like this without taking it onto myself. My Mercury is in Sagittarius, so I've got 8 of Wands here, swiftness, and I love this card. So that shows you that my mind is quite fast. It likes to travel. It likes to see places. I love wands. Ooh. Yeah, the Mercury in Sagittarius, it's curious mind, I would say, and it's happy to go off on adventures. Also, the sign of healing, like we are good healers, Sagittarians, and we can do the distant healing a lot, and that's fascinating. I have Mars in Gemini, cruelty, 9 of Swords, and it's true, I can, fear a lot. This is Moth, my shadow animal. I kind of freak out when I see moths. I love them, but so I realized this is my shadow animal, Moth, and yeah, this is basically just learning how to deal with fear and not to jump into fear, not to be cruel to myself, to constantly change my thoughts. Gemini energy is quite erratic and can lead you to many different options, but half of them are totally not necessary to even go into them. So it's this kind of knowing what to discard and what's not true. I can also say that my North Node is in Scorpio, and I'm fascinated by death. I really would love to at some point work with dying people, and I don't know, just always death fascinates me. So this is my North Node, my kind of karmic lesson, something which I'm here to explore this lifetime and something which I learn this lifetime. So I stretch my comfort zones from my kind of Taurian South Node, which feels comfortable to me, and go into the Scorpionic depths. And also my MC, so like my point of calling, of like kind of my most public point in my chart is in Aries. So that's the kind of pioneer version of me, and my ability to break the rules and create something new out of them, or not be afraid to be the first person in Poland to do something a different way. So there you go. This is me in a nutshell. I used the Tabula Mundi Colores Arcus deck, and also the Tarot of the Vampires by Ian Daniels. And this comes with this cool book, Phantasmagoria. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out, because it's quite an interesting deck. And yeah, all I can say is now, if you want to check your chart, you can go to astro.com. This is a free website when you can put in your data. You will have to know your birth time and place. And when you put your data in, you can have different options for free horoscopes and stuff. And you can, even if you don't know much about astrology, they would lead you through all the symbols and stuff. Or you can watch Maha's videos. She's a very good speaker and translates astrological language quite easily for likes. And you can check her videos. I will link them below. So thank you for watching. Bye.